Dear students, I'm delighted to continue this course with you and especially doing this lecture on technological infrastructure of the P2P collaborative platforms. I hope you have enjoyed up to here. I'm enjoying it, and let's go on. Now you are familiar with the philosophy of your learning objectives. This is my commitment. This is my contract with you. At the end of this course, normally you should be very familiar and being able to apply the concepts and theories which are related to the topic of the lecture on technologies of the Web2, which is a kind of it, but the technology as the third component of a P2P business model. We are going to have 6 chapters, but make sure that chapter 6 is as usual for going further for you. I gave you the possibilities for those of you who are still having a thesis to prepare, or probably you work in this sector, and so on. And chapter 5 is a test for making sure that you are more or less aware of the basic concepts and theories concerning the technologies of the platform economy. Chapter 1. What is the objective of this one? The objective is the following. If the third component of a P2P platform business model is about technology, the supporting technologies, the infrastructural technologies, what is the technology? This is the very first thing that we study in this chapter before going to more specific technologies of the P2P platform economy. This gentleman, Mr. Carr, is an exceptional author. He has been the editor-in-chief of the Harvard Business Review, which is one of the most with prestige and respect in business and management sciences and economics. He has written many books. He continues to write. But I'm highly interested in one of his books at the very beginning of the P2P platform economy. He posed a very interesting question in the title of his book. Look, how can you read it? Does it matter? Or does information technology matter? Well, you might be surprised saying that, wait a minute, you are teaching us technology, the platform economy, and you are wondering if technologies are important. Can we ask this question now? Yes, the book is old, but the question is still very important, and you can apply it to any advanced and evolved information technology. Because his thesis in this book is the justification of my lecture on the third component of a P2P business model. Mr. Carr, the author of this book, says, wait a minute. Information technology is important if and only if it's efficiently inserted into your business model, if it is part of a strategy. Otherwise, buying information technology on its own does not matter for your strategy, for your profitability, for your strategic success. Let me give you an example and then I continue. Is electricity important now? Idiot question, isn't it? By all means, electricity is important. Yeah, but if you consider it economically, the question is that how do I integrate it in an efficient way in my company, in my operations? Even electricity, which is very, very now common, standard. You even don't ask the question if it is important or not. So, what we are going to do in this lecture is that how technologies can be efficiently part of a P2P platform business model. It's not just buying technologies, acquiring technology because we have the budget and this is a fashion to buy artificial intelligence, buying this, buying that. This is not the point. The point is that how it can be part of a business model to be efficient. So, people, we are working on the third component of our business model. The basic tools that we are going to study, Web 2.0 technologies, highly important. You can call them collaborative technologies, logistics, and AI, which is highly important. AI, generative artificial intelligence, and large language models like ChatGPT. I told you that we start this lecture by wondering about a very first question. What is technology? Okay, technology is the third component of a P2P business model, but what is it, technology? Let me start by an etymological reminder. Technology is a combination of techne in the Greek language and logos. Techne means arts, let's say tools. And logos means reason. So you see at the same time is a combination of tools, hard and software. What is if you wish, this is the incarnation of some knowledge. This is a technical, this is a tool. This is something which exists, is materialized. And also you have the competency and human skills of using it. Imagine any digital product, iPad, iPhone, smartphone, your laptop. Many of relatives in your family, they might have the same products, but they often come to the young members of the family asking for how does it work? I'm stuck, I'm blocked. How can I do this? because this is the same technology, not the same competency. So what is very important is not just acquiring technology, tools, software application, but making sure that your company, your platform has the competency of using it. What do they do together? What is a technology? In a sense, you say a technology is an extension of your capabilities. Whatever is your human capability, thinking, reasoning, walking, talking, communicating, understanding, a technology extends these capabilities. And for the first time in the history, or almost, technology does not extend only your senses. I see, I hear, I touch, I smell, I feel. Technologies also, and mainly for the first time at this level, extend your reasoning, your understanding, your knowledge, your comprehension. At this level, it has never existed. And already this technology is more intelligent than you and I. Intelligent, we call it. Well, we discuss it later. We have some slides on that one. We discuss it. But certainly, this technology stocks more knowledge than we can stock you and I and all humans combined in their minds. So it's very important to see how we can use it. In a company, in a business model, we use technologies, smart or not smart, artificial intelligence or any older technology, mainly for two reasons. Increasing productivity. What does that mean? It means that decreasing the cost of manufacturing plus. We buy a technology for a company and we insert it in a business model, also for innovating, providing novelty. You buy a technology, whatever it is as technology, in order to increase your competitive advantage, being able to give more values to customers and in return receiving more income streams. This is the general picture of a technology in a business model. I hope it's very clear. People, this movie is fantastic, is an exceptional movie. I let you see. I cannot show it to you in a recorded course, but please go and see. You have it here, the address and so on, and even on your file, you can click on it and you can go and see. There, in this movie, you see the difference between competencies. The young lady knows an iPad and has the competency of using it, and the older man, because he does not have the competency of using an iPad, it uses the iPad like a board, which is much, much cheaper. Why I like this movie very much? Because if you invest a lot in your company buying a very expensive technology without having the competency of using it in an efficient way, then you are losing your money. There is a theory, they call it resource-based. The core idea of this theory is that after all, as a company, you do not sell products. And you should not judge your company according to its products, but according to its competencies. Because products could be out of fashion. Products could be, the market should be saturated of your products. If you have competencies, then you can innovate. So the competition is not based on the products. The competition between companies is based on the competencies which allow and enable to manufacture products. So a company, in the best case, you consider a company from now on, you view a company as a collection of competencies. These competencies are and resources, could be tangible resources, but you should have competencies of being able to use them. Otherwise, you cannot use them. So I have resources, I have technologies, and then do I have the competencies of using them? With the objective, as I told you previously, to create, to craft a competitive advantage. In the best case, your competitive advantage is significant. Everybody in your organization joins in it and can support it, and is not easy to copy. These competencies, I put emphasis on it, people, for the following reason. Because if you reduce the courses you are getting in this school, which is a good school, without developing of your competencies of understanding, of searching, of critical thinking, then you might be out-competed not only by other young people, but also most likely by artificial intelligence. Ask yourself, how good is your competency? In a company anyway, a competency goes different steps. Number one, resources. Do we have a resource or not? Whatever your competency and your talent is, you cannot be a champion of tennis if you don't have a racket. So resources are important. But you cannot use the resources if you are not capable of using different sources and putting them together, and to use those resources in an efficient way. Number three is your competency. Competency is more than capability. Capability, you are able to do something. Competency, you do it in a very good, efficient way. Let me give you an example. I do not know if you like football, soccer, or not. I love this sport. And I can tell you, I do almost all gestures that the good players in football, they do. Ronaldinho. I'm capable of doing many of his gestures, with this difference. I'm not as competent as he is. What he does in less than 1 second, I need to do in half an hour. This is the difference. I can shoot, but not with his competencies. So competency is more than being able to. Okay, I'm able to play football, but I don't have the competency. And the more you have competency, the more you are competitive. In the best case, your very specific competency gives you a distinctive advantage. Even better, you have a sustainable advantage. It means that your competencies allow you to innovate all the time to be on the top. This is what Apple has done for a long period of time. I come with the smart technology, I renew it all the time. When the competitors come closer to me, I can already suggest something else. It's very difficult now for Apple, but for a long time, this is what Apple did. Microsoft was very good. For a while, they lost. They were very good. But you should all the time sustain your advantage, all the time renew it. These technologies are very, very important. Knowing the technologies with tools and competencies are very, very important to consider them. Because technologies are going to give a new world, are going to give a new market, and they make a shift. They redefine the rules of competition. And if you do not have those technologies, then you are out of market. I have found some very good quotations, and normally I invite my students to think critically about them. Now, unfortunately with you, we cannot be more interactive. Look how a company can lose a market. This is Western Union, was one of the biggest companies at the end of the 19th century. And they had a memo, internal, and well, just forget about what they call telephone. This telephone is inherently of no value to us. It has too many shortcomings to be seriously considered as a means of communication. Can you imagine this? And that was a dead memo for the company. Look what a lawyer of Henry Ford told him. Fortunately, Henry Ford didn't listen to his lawyer. The lawyer said, the automobile is only a fad. The horse is here to stay. Can you imagine this? Another one, I think there is a market for about 5 computers he wanted to add in the world. There is no reason anyone would want a computer in their home. Can you imagine this? You laugh, and you're right. Please laugh. But don't you make probably the same mistake now about a technology, about a new competency? You are laughing because now everybody knows that they have been wrong. What if we are wrong about different technologies, different tools, different competencies, and so on? Thinking about technology is very important, highly important. Why? Look at these cycles of technologies. On your left, you see cycles which could last about 60 years. So if you are a bit dubitative at the very first, you have time to catch up and to retake. But as you see, the more we advance in time, the more the cycles are shorter, shorter and shorter and shorter. It means that we finish with a technology and we go to the other. So if you do not take the train on time, it's too late because already there is a new technology coming. So we should not lose the opportunity and the insight to adopt the right pertinent technology on time. Not only adopting the technology on time, but also having the competencies to use it, and as I told, to be able to put it pertinently in the business model. Look at this, people. Many old technology, TV, telephone, automobile, and so on, they made time to have a market of users. Now look at these technologies simultaneously. Very fast, they get to a lot of customers and clients. Many applications, they have lost these users because they were not aware and familiar on time about this. So any company, any business model, any platform, any big company, a small company has a dilemma. The dilemma is following, especially if you're doing well. Many companies, as I explained to you in my quotations, they were good companies, big companies, and they failed. Why? Because they couldn't answer correctly to the dilemma, especially when they are leaders, and they have been leaders. Leaders, they say, look, there is a new technology. Should I invest in it? What if this is only a fashion? What if this is only a mode? If I invest in these technologies, new technologies, emerging technologies, I have less money to support the technology which has made me a leader or a good competitor on the market. So I invest or not? Or I prefer to sustain the technologies I'm using, I'm adopting now. I continue with them because they have me a good leader or a good competitor on the market. But what if your current technology is already dead, is already outdated, is already out of fashion? In the best case, in the first case, the side effect, if your decision is not good, is that because you have invested in the new technologies, you have less money to invest in the technologies which are still working. The side effect in the second decision is that you miss an opportunity and you are already out of the market suddenly. When iPod, I'm not talking about iPad, when iPod came in, the very big brand Sony has failed, not because its Walkman were not good. Its Walkman was fantastic in quality and in price, the leader of the market. But a new technology has not competed Walkman. The new technology of iPod has replaced the Walkman product of Sony. Look at this. This theory was presented by Clayton. You have your sustaining technologies. It means that technologies that you already have. You improve it, but this is the same technology that you improve. Is not a disruptive technology. You are having a technology and you improve it. As Sony has constantly improved the technology of Walkman. And at the very first, you improve your current technology and there is a demand better for the same technology improved. The same products improved. But after a while, they say more or less this is the same. I'm not interested. It's more or less the same. Many people have not gone to iPhone 15. They say it's more or less the same. At that period of time, a new disruptive technology might come. A disruptive technology is not a better sustaining technology. It's a different technology. So if you continue to invest on improving your sustaining technologies and you do not see, you don't have any insight of the emerging disruptive technologies, then this technology is going to outcompete you totally. Some companies, when they are rich, very rich, if they miss some technologies, they buy it. For example, Facebook bought WhatsApp. And it seems that WhatsApp, the users of WhatsApp, the number of users of WhatsApp is growing faster than the growth of Facebook. I'm not saying that the users of WhatsApp are more than the users of Facebook. I'm talking about the rate of growth. Google has bought Motorola because Google didn't have this technology. Now, Microsoft has bought Skype. They wanted to develop, you have used Teams. They wanted to develop Teams, but they had omitted Skype. They said, well, after all, let's buy Skype. These are different examples. Google has bought YouTube too. A very good decision on time. Very good decision. Sometimes the acquisitions are good, the acquisitions are bad. There are two things. When a company with a very deep pocket buys another company, two questions should be asked and answered to. The question number one is that this is the right technology making the emerging market, yes or no? Or this is just a fad? The question number two, do I have the competency of integrating and using that technology, yes or no? You have other investments too. You know that Twitter is called now X. I love this slide. I don't do it as a quiz with you, but know that I love this one for two reasons. Reason number one is shows the dynamic of a market economy. Look, the giant in 1917 do not exist 100 years later. Just compare them. Because this is the competition between innovations, between entrepreneurship. All the time they continue. And number two, it shows that if you do not invest on time in technologies, you are out of the market. Things are changing. GM, General Motors, was a dominant, a giant in the economy of the United States and the economy of the world. People used to say, when General Motors sneezes, America gets cold. But you don't have it here. You have other companies who have gone. That was 50 years later, almost. The second thing I want to see on this with you is that if you look at the big brands here, there are two takeaways as lessons. Lesson number one, Americans are much more important than the Asians and Europeans. But the Asians are more important than the Europeans. What is a bit shocking for me is that the Europeans has more digital-based brands than the Europeans. It should change. But the Americans, they have the bigger markets, the bigger brands, and a lot of digital brands. Apple, Google, IBM, Amazon, many of them. Think about it. Once more time, you see that in here, that Americans are still very strong. China comes after. You couldn't believe this 20 years ago. The second lesson is on your right. The most valuable brands in the world come out of the sector of technology. Yes, there are other brands too, but they are good only if they have adopted the right pertinent technologies. Let's go to this one, social media metrics. Many of the brands that we have studied, they are based on Web 2.0 technologies, collaborative technologies, P2P technologies. I developed it right in the second chapter. What does that mean? Yes. What does that mean is that people talk about you and you cannot control them because they have free hands. Many companies, they say, dear brand, I can tell you what do people say about your brands. And this is a big, big, big business. Probably some of you already work on it. Okay. We go to the chapter 2 and we try to have more focus on the technologies which are more pertinent, which are the funding technologies of the platform economy. Okay, in the review of the important pertinent technologies for the P2P platforms, one should distinguish between the technologies which enable P2P interactions and transactions, and then the technologies which support those interactions and transactions between peers. For example, for payment, for example, for delivery, and so on. What are the basic P2P collaborative technologies? These are technologies which have enabled platforms to exist in a P2P mode on the two-sided markets. You have, for example, file sharing program, which breaks down files into smaller chunks and then distribute them across the networks of peers. That's why it goes very fast. You have distributed ledger technologies. This is the technology of blockchain. This technology is secure, transparent, and record-proof transactions among peers, so they can directly work together and transact together. You have web real-time communication. They constitute free real-time collaboration features like video conferencing, voice chat, and file sharing. It seems so natural to you to be able to chat video or in audio spontaneously, but this is a big technology. It had not existed. In the best case, you recorded your voice or your visage, and then later your peers could see that. Now it's spontaneous. This is a basic technology for P2P activities. You have distributed shared storage. They ensure data availability and reliability. You have secure communication protocol. They encrypt messages or data that can only be read by intended recipients, by intended peers. So it's highly secure. You have content version control. They track changes to shared documents and the codes, whatever has changed, and maintain a clear history of modification. You know, if you work, for example, for your team works with your teammates on Google Documents, is a kind of content version control. So you can have the track of changes of different things. And then finally, you have decentralized applications. They run on a DLT, distributed ledger technologies, enable an environment for collaboration and data sharing without the control of any central hub, of any central authority. So these are the basic technologies that you put as the third component of a P2P business model. But these technologies, which enable communication, interaction, transactions between individuals, they have totally changed the way we live. Not only we transact, but we live. It has totally changed. Look, before the internet, that was worse. But even with the internet, at the very first, there were institutions, big companies, big hubs that controlled interactions and transactions between peers. Okay, for example, you could communicate with Alta Vista, and Alta Vista had the control with Yahoo, and Yahoo had the control. If you wanted to, they called it bulletin board. If you wanted, for example, to discuss with a lot of people, you should put that on a wall, which was controlled by a central hub. Now with the Web 2 technologies, they enable peers to communicate with each other. For example, if you want to give a news, if you want to sing, if you want to play a movie, you do not need to convince a central hub to give you the possibility of singing, and the central hub then distribute it. You go on YouTube, you tube it, and then you are in contact with your peers. Many peers have become millionaires because they can directly convince and seduce and persuade other people as followers, as fans, and they make big money out of this. That's why people, after this big revolution of the Web 2.0, which was the parent technology of the P2P platform economy, Business Week in 2005 said that this is the power of us. And the power of you and me, the power of peers, the power of us is the power of peers, everybody. And then that was highly interesting. The following year, in 2006, Time every year selects the person of the year. And in 2006, the person of the year was you and I, because we had another control. In other words, people, those technologies I have explained, they are disruptive technologies because they permit that peers become much more powerful, because they can talk, they can write, as any big companies can do. They can get together, they can make petition together. There is a big power. And the first reflections of on those was the book. It made a big noise, Surovicki, about the wisdom of crowds. Because of these technologies, they could get together, they could talk with each other, they could make petitions, they could make a group. You do not need to, for example, form a political party. Imagine for a very specific cause, you need support of people. You make it on the internet, and after the success or failure, you go away and you do another project, because it does not cost. You can ask them to come and see you on WhatsApp, on Skype, on Teams, on Zoom, and you can make together a movie, you can distribute it, you can ask them to support your movie. So it's really not only the wisdom of crowds, but also the power of crowds that you can see. And then people continued to see different parts of it. So yes, I'm explaining the technologies, but if you do remember, I said that these technologies should support a business model. Otherwise, they are only technologies. We do not study technologies only because they are technologies. And I want to show you the efficiency of these technologies. because this is the third component of the P2P activities, transactions, and I want to show you that the different books, different theories, different concepts, they say, oh God, with those technologies, people can get together, people can make new products, people can put their minds combined to find some solutions to some questions. And so these are highly developed in that case. In this one, The Rise of Crowdsourcing, was a very famous paper. No Wired as the magazine. There is a newsletter for free, mainly based on society and technologies, the impact of digital technologies on societies. And then you have, they continued by Wikinomics, was very important too. I really think that P2P activities, you can call it Wikinomics, is the future. More and more we go together, because thanks to these technologies, it does not cost anything that you make many collective peer-to-peer projects. It does not cost anything. You can go on Instagram, put a picture and ask for support to get together. You can make a group of thinking, a group of actions of many things. So the more, because it's like this, after the COVID-19, many good executives, they didn't want to get back and work as salarymen or women in companies, because they said, now I have my competency, and with these technologies, I can stay at home and work at home. Well, I come to see you whenever is necessary, but if I have to prepare a document and I can do that at home, why should I come after the traffic jam in an office which is not as comfortable as the office I'm having in my home? So they quitted. They call it in sociology now the quiet quit, the silent quit. So they quitted, but they work. They continue to make money. All that, wiki economics, remote working, remote collaboration, this is because of these technologies that I have explained to you as the basic technologies of this business model. Why do we use social media? Because social medias are, well, social media are P2P, okay? Those technologies give birth to social media. Why do people use social media? It's very clear. I love this lecture very much. It's very clear. I love other lectures too, but I love them for different reasons. This lecture, I like it because it's very logical. You see, people now, is wrong if you say that technologies dehumanize. People are becoming more humanized because it does not cost to be in touch and in contact with many other people. Imagine that your cousin is in another city or country. It costs in time and money to go and visit to him or her. But now you can visit him or her anytime on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on send a message and receive a message all the time. You can even put a song for him or her on YouTube. So the first reason people use collaborative technologies or social media is for contacting with other people. The reason number two is for entertainment. Now you can see many movies, you can discover many movies, you can discover many things among people. For example, write it down. You might be interested. There is a P2P platform I love personally very much, which is titled Top Documentary. And amateurs, sometimes very good amateurs, they make documentary and they put on this platform for free. This is a marketing campaign for them. This is it helps them to get more experience and mainly to find a reputation. Some of them, they find good contracts with TV channels and streaming platforms for making movies with good money. Anyway, on this platform, I go for entertainment, but instructive entertainment. I love very much documentaries. I go there, I see, I watch, and I learn a lot of things. And that's one of the reasons. Reading news and finding content and so on. So this is it, people. Why people use it? They use it for these different reasons. I wanted to ask my students, why do you use? What was the reason the last time you used the social media to give more a deepness in this course? But unfortunately, I cannot see you and doing this. These are the most visited and used social media in the world. This is the world. And as you can see, the data is recent. Facebook is used a lot still. I thought that used is losing against Instagram and X and TikTok, but still Facebook is very strong. And YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram, and WeChat, and so on. TikTok, I know it very well, but I do not use it. Facebook Messenger, you know it, and Telegram, I use it a lot. And here I wanted to ask my students, which one do you use most? For example, Snapchat, I use and I don't use it. I use it because it has an artificial intelligence and I ask questions, as in the ChatGPT. It's not as strong as ChatGPT, but it's funny. So sometimes I use it. That's it. So people all over the world. Now with Facebook, you can be in touch with any peer everywhere in the world. Not only you can meet virtually everybody you want, but also you can make new friends and new networks. This is what the brands do. For example, look at this. As all online dating platforms, P2P platforms, they use these social medias. You consider them as materialization of P2P technologies, whatever you call them. But this is what they do. Not only they are P2P platforms, but also they go to P2P social media to be in contact with peers. Because the mode is not anymore, I brand give you a communication and you receive it. The point is more and more to be in interaction with the clients, with the followers, with the fans, and so on. And this is what you see, for example, on Facebook for online dating platforms. And here you see for Instagram, again, for online dating. So you see they are on all of them. Okay, you see the difference. Even brands, they cannot be content by sending a massive advertising to everybody. They need to come into the spirit of the time, into the mind of the time, and to be in interactions, peer-to-peer activity, even if they are a brand. Now this one is Twitter X, as I told you, but when I had it, that was still Twitter, but they are having the same thing here. The thing I liked most with online dating, that was that this is the power of you. To remember, for Newsweek, for Time, internet P2P users of P2P technologies are the person of the year. Here is a very good example that you are having. They are different online dating platforms, but people here share their ideas about those platforms, and it's very pleasant. Normally here I ask my students, when you buy a product, do you see the reviews? I personally see the review a lot, and I know that reviews have impacts on my purchasing decision. Come back on this YouTube by independent clients. What they say about the platforms, online dating platforms, are very influential about the membership of those platforms. You see, this is the power of us. This is the power of you. This is the power of peers. Here, normally, I ask my students in class to go different students on different platforms. You have different platforms here because I want them to have a very good culture, a general knowledge of P2P platforms, to discover more of them. So already by going there, what is boat setter, what is lending club, what is TP, and so on, they discover more. And then I ask them, find how do they use different social media? How do they compare? How do they use YouTube, Instagram, and so on? And these are good understanding and good applications for you, because make sure that without social media, no company is successful. Not only you adopt P2P technologies for your P2P activities, but also the social media which exist, you can use them. In other words, you might think of YouTube as a technology, because this is just a possibility, a technological possibility. And then you say, how can I use it for my brand? You might be independent and create something, but also this is potentially a technology for free at your disposal. Look, how much do you use social media every day? It seems that every day, almost, we use it for 2.5 hours. Is it the peak? Because over a long period from the, as you can see, 2019 up to now, this is a very recent report, but the statistics are 2022. Over 3-4 years is around 2.5 hours, a bit more, a bit less. Is it the peak, or is going to be more? I suppose it's going to be more with the success of metaverse. If it becomes very simple to use it, without that headset is a bit difficult, a bit complicated. They are working on make it very simple. It should be as simple as using, for example, WhatsApp. When I use WhatsApp, I never go and look for a contact. I say to my iPhone, please go and find on WhatsApp this and that, and it's very easy. And they find me and they call me my contacts. Metaverse should be as easy to use as other P2P applications. When they do that, I believe in average, we go more than 2 hours and a half. I think people, but we need more preparation. Classes are going to be virtual. Why everybody should be in the same hour for a course? The objective is not this. The objective is to learn something. I personally prefer for my lectures to do like this, but probably with more support for making it more entertaining. I think good courses are a combination of pedagogy and entertainment. This is my understanding, like top documentaries. Documentaries are very instructive, but at the same time very entertaining. And then when we meet for discussion. Okay, in all modesty, people, you should learn concepts and theories. There is no point to discuss. You might have questions, that's fine, that's right. But first you should learn. When you learn, then we can discuss and we can meet and we can see each other. That's why I think we will use social media more than 2 hours and a half per day. Is how many platforms do you use individually? And for example, if you go in India, already 9 different P2P platforms. It's fascinating, but you use less, 3 in Japan. It does not mean that you are less time in Japan on social media, but probably you have found 3, 4 social medias you love and you stay with them in Japan and not anymore. Here, I wanted to ask how many social media do you use? The thing is very simple. Go on your mobile and count the number of applications of P2P platforms you are having. It's very interesting. And it's already, when I do that in a class, you have 30, 40 answers, which is not sufficient, but a good sample anyway. Okay, that's it, people. Social media, I have written a paper on it. You can put them and use them as technologies for 4 different purposes in your business model, in your company, or even personally for yourself. You can use them for transactions. Your company might use many P2P platforms for transacting. For example, on Amazon, there are a lot of independent merchants. On Groupon, there are many of them. In France, Au Bon Coin, there are many of them. They go there only for transacting. And not only companies, individuals too. You have a lot of repairmen, Au Bon Coin, and then you can hire them for 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, whatever. The second type of social media that you can use as technologies, it means that you use the technological potential and you do whatever you want within your business model. The second is casting. You cast a message. I showed you that people cast about the different online dating platforms they use. They can sing, they can dance, they can do political things. is casting. You just talk to people. Okay, you express. Then you can network. You can make groups. You can make communities. And then you can share. Okay, you say that, for example, let's share films, let's share books, let's share experiences, let's share many different things. So these are the different ways you can use these technologies very friendly for your business models. They exist already for you. Look, people, they are two different things. They exist and you can use them, but also you can use some collaborative technologies, as I have explained, as different from social media, but not because you are using collaborative technologies that you should not use social media as technologies, because their technologies are free to use for you. Okay, here people, I normally ask my students to discover new platforms. Artfloor, I like very much, LibriVox, Yelp, and so on, and to see what social media these P2P platforms use and how is very instructive. But well, we cannot do that in this class at this moment, some later probably. Let's go and see more specific technologies that platforms can use by artificial intelligence. In other words, here we want to see, because we are in the age of artificial intelligence, how the technologies of these platforms have evolved. Okay, do remember this one already. We go to AI, but do understand the evolution. Internet has started with Web 1.0. That was a static web. You could get the information, but you couldn't react to it. That was not easy. And if you wanted to contact well, in the best case, you could send a message to the owner of the website, but that was so difficult to contact other peers via the website. That was difficult because the owner should have prevented or not. That was difficult. That was the very beginning of the massive adoption of the internet. The internet became very popular, mainly in 1996. Then we went to the Web 2.0. That started very timidly in 2000s, but it became more significant in 2006. You do remember the two issues of Newsweek and Time. That was in 2005 and 2006. So that was the period it became very popular. It means that people used to profit from these technologies in social media. The third one is semantic. It means that you can talk. Like you talk to a peer, you can talk to a technology. Isn't that amazing? And number 4, it has started with ChatGPT, and it is going to continue more and more. And this is the right future. So here my question is, this intelligence, how it has changed the technologies that the P2P platforms use. That we have studied in the previous chapter about the basic funding technologies for the P2P platforms. All of them now are improved by AI. All of them. is almost no technology which is not improved, upgraded by AI technologies. However, there are technologies which are specifically by AI, and they are already used in P2P platforms. Is federated machine learning is a very fantastic one. Is these technologies train models and preserve privacy. You see, they federated machine, they get together and they learn, and they improve their performance. In other words, sometimes when I see an advertising on Instagram and Facebook, I get an answer to it. So you see, they are federated and they learn from each other and they improve the experience. Number two is smart contracts. Is they self-execute contracts with the terms of the agreement directly written into code, often deployed on blockchain platforms like, for example, Ethereum and so on. This is a smart contract, is the ultimate form of platform economy. This is what I call in the title of this course, post-platform. It means you even do not need a platform to be in contact and interaction with other peers. Because these technologies can permit, like blockchain, to have a smart contract. It means that agreement between you and anybody. You send something and they answer to it, and you make codes that only you two are aware of. And the third one is decentralized identity authentication, is maintaining security and privacy is the objective of these kinds. So one more time, people, please pay attention to it, is on your left, we have explained that these are the basic funding technologies of the P2P activities. They existed before AI, but now they are improved with AI. On your right, you have things that they are more supported by AI. So we say this. We say that here, technology that you have, more and more, these technologies imitate human intelligence. In other words, you go on Amazon, you want to buy, the next time, more and more, you just talk and the application answers to you. Federated technologies, it means that they are much more powerful because they collaborate with each other. Technologies, I'm not talking about you as peer-to-peer interactions. Technologies understand they to work together, that they profit from each other's data, intelligence, findings, and power of calculation. And this is more and more decentralized. It means that there is, decentralized means distributed. What does that mean? It means that there is not a central control over it, if you can see. These are every minute, how much every second, how much time the artificial intelligence sends you more and more over all these different things, information and so on. Look, ChatGPT is very new. It's over 1 year. ChatGPT, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not mistaken, is 15 months old. 15 months old. Is 1 year and 3 months. And already this is artificial intelligence, which is highly developed. All of them you do in 1 minute is more and more improved and upgraded by AI. And many of them, if you look at them, look, Twitter, X, if you look at Snapchat, if you look at many of them, they are P2P activities. And per month, what we have seen, that was per minute, and this is per month. Still, Facebook is very, very strong that you have here. You have, if the P2P platforms cannot ignore these technologies, this social media at their service. They should use their own technologies by all means, otherwise they are not P2P platforms, but not because they have P2P technologies in their platforms that they should forget these different social media based on the P2P technologies. What was interesting for me, people, is I didn't know that the women, they were that much interested in social media. On your left, you have ladies, and on your right, you have men. The younger they are, they use more social media than the men. For example, in my class, unfortunately, I am not with you, otherwise I would have done the survey, is that in your class, normally the girls should use more social media in number than boys. It's going to be equal, 25, 34, and then equal one more time, and then a bit men more than women. I cannot explain why, but it was highly interesting for me. However, if sometimes women, sometimes men, however, is very equal, as you can see, more or less. Here is, that was the difference, is a bit more. This is time. Everybody is on the internet. How much of that time is devoted to the social media? Women definitely are more in social media when they are on the internet than men. That was very interesting for me in this report I'm reading. I wish I could have tested with my students, but unfortunately I cannot. Let me give you some examples of how giants use AI on their technologies in their business model. Amazon make it very clear, if automatically, if there is a demand, this is highly interesting, is if Amazon artificial intelligence discovers that for any reason there is a rise in demand for some products on its platform, automatically, spontaneously, artificial intelligence goes to the supply chain and orders that product more, so that the product does not miss the rising demand on the platform. It automatically is doing, as is highly interesting. Number two, Netflix. That is it's not new, is the personalization, but with artificial intelligence is much more intelligent. So they analyze many different preferences of each client to suggest good films. I am a movie lover. I love reading, and I love watching. I like a bit more reading than watching, but I watch too, and I like very much. And I'm a member of Netflix. And the recommendation and that's a long time that I have been clients of Netflix, but I have the impression that recommendations are better and better and better. Sometimes I could really go away when I used to see the recommendations. Some were good, some not very good. Now I normally use many of the recommendations because the recommendation is more intelligent now. PayPal uses artificial intelligence to recognize your voice for sending an amount and receiving an amount. And then Pinterest Lens, if you use it, I'm a member of. I am a member of many of these social media. As they give you based on well, let me rewind. The platform's artificial intelligence analyzes the pins you do, the pictures you upload, in order to suggest some other users, some other photos that might have the same familiarity, the same interest than you do. Okay, people, that's fine. This is the last slide of this chapter. We have ethical thinking on social texts, but we cannot do that because this is what I say. Once you understand concepts and theories, we get together and we discuss these different things, issues, but we cannot meet. But please go and see this movie, a fantastic movie about the sociability through social media. Okay, these technologies give you the possibility of being social, being in contact with other people. This is a reflection on it. This is a good one. And I give a definition of what is friendship to see that what kind of friendship is the one that we have on social media. Is for some interest, utility, is a pleasure, or is a friendship by virtue, because I respect his art, her writings, his values, her creations, whatever, or pleasure or utility. That would be nice to see what kinds of friendship are or friendship on different social media, but we cannot discuss it. In order to develop it more, I ask this question, for example, for you on different social media to understand them better, because this is my understanding of a course. Social is critical thinking on it. These two movies are fantastic movies to see the influence they are having by using these technologies. Okay, people, normally you should know these concepts and theories. If you know them, you have a good understanding of the third component of the P2P business model. And we can discuss and we can see movies together and discuss it and have a critical thinking. Please have a look on them. And if you have doubts, get back to the course. And if it does not answer to your questions, please send me questions. I make a pleasure answering to your questions. As usual, people, at the very end, for your further investigations, I have put more resources and more thinking. For example, this one for understanding disruptive technologies. This one is for the first chapter of today's lecture about the competencies. You see, products come at the very end. You start by your capabilities and competencies. Do understand what this top executives of Procter & Gamble says about the importance of changing. I like very much his sense of formula. When the rate of change outside your company exceeds the rate of change inside your company, disaster is imminent. You can see. This is what we have studied. For Apple, we apply it. If you want to understand more the different levels of competencies, have a look on this. These are what we have studied about sustaining and disruptive technologies. I have had a long lecture on it, but if you want to develop it, I have put more slides in it and more information about it. Okay, these are the same things. For those who are interested to develop it, everything is highly developed. This is the question: do I go or I don't go for a new disruptive technology? Okay, these are all that I have explained orally, but you have here written before your eyes to develop it. These are for innovations. If you want to develop, these are the adoption of new technologies. If you want to develop all these different things, I let you discover. This is not part of my course in proper. This is if you want, this is part of course if you want to develop it and for a thesis, for your company, for application, and so on. I have put everything so that it could be complete, that you can see. These are about communities that you can develop with technologies and the importance of network, how you define the importance of your network here. Some references. And I thank you very much for your attention. I hope the course is clear. Of course, the lecture has been clear. And if you have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer and to discuss and to interact with you. We are in a course on P2P. We're going to be P2P between us, among us. Thank you.